step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Yo, good morning. It is Friday. It's Workers' Day. We are live. And you have tuned into the Expresso show.
Woo! Someone is hyped this morning.
It's the hype. It's the weekend. Come on. Why not? So my name is cardamoms, and the effervescent woman on my right-hand side is...
Jamie Domberg reporting live for duty. I want your energy. Just
have it. And you guys, you can have it as well.
Vrydag indeed. As you know, last night we have moved into phase 4 of the lockdown, which brings with it some freedom of movement from exercising, as well as a new curfew, which most of us have never experienced before. It is a new adjustment, a new time. But there's no doubt that we're all in this together, and it's in the spirit of mobilizing and acting together that we commemorate today as Workers' Day, like you said.
Definitely. And now it's celebrated in many countries globally, and it thanks the efforts of labourers who have historically protested on the 1st of May to improve the rights of those in the working class. And now we hope you spend some time today reflecting on the advances that have been made in the workplace.
Speaking about Workers' Day, I think that we should just use that on our social media platforms today.
Good idea.
You know, a lot of people is in lockdown, but what are like some parts of your job, or maybe the people you work with, that you miss the most during this lockdown period? Let us know. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, and use that all-important hashtag Expresso Show. I mean, you came into this new workplace during lockdown.
Crazy. I'm absolutely blessed to have a new workplace, and I can't complain yet. But I do miss a lot of the clients, and I had to close my gym before lockdown, so that is a sad part. But silver lining, of course, I get to speak to all of you beautiful people. And you
get to train the entire nation, so it's a whole new gym setting for you. So, I mean, you must enjoy that. I miss this princess so much. Like, I wish you had the opportunity, but you will meet her. She is going to change your life, and we miss the entire team. But speaking about the entire team, let's head over to Kutla Adams with those news headlines.
A very good morning to you, team. A good morning to you, South Africa, and happy Workers' Day. It's time for us to have the first look at the news headlines. Starting off with our national news. As of last night, South Africa had 5,647 known cases of COVID-19 infections, with 103 deaths. Health Minister Zweli Mkhize said the number of people tested for the virus has now reached more than 207,000. More than 41% of known infections are in the Western Cape, while Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal account for another 37% of cases. Meanwhile, Gauteng Premier David Makhura said half of the people who tested positive for COVID-19 in Gauteng did not show symptoms and may have gone around infecting others. The president says a united approach will yield positive results that will eventually see life getting back to normal. He spoke to the media in Kempton Park, where he received a donation of 6 million face masks, personal protective equipment and medical supplies valued at 1 billion rand from media company Naspers South Africa. The president said the country has been doing well in curbing the spread of coronavirus, but noted with concern the rising cases of gender-based violence during the lockdown. On to international news. New data from the United Nations Population Fund suggests the coronavirus will have a globally devastating impact on women. If lockdown continues for 6 months, it will result in 7 million unplanned pregnancies and 31 million cases of gender-based violence. The report also indicates there will be a surge in cases of child marriage. The report suggests COVID-19 is already having a profound impact on women across the globe, as 70% of the health workforce is comprised of women. Nigeria's health minister has appealed to property owners around the country to consider loaning empty buildings to be used to help house patients who've tested positive for coronavirus. Dr. Osagie Ehanire said the empty properties could be donated to state governments for a short period of time. His comments come as the Director General of Nigeria's Center for Disease Control revealed officials were struggling with bed spaces in certain areas. And now, how Workers' Day 2020 globally pays homage to frontline workers. Workers' Day is globally celebrated each year to pay homage to the working class of the world. This year, Workers' Day is even more special as the world continues to battle the coronavirus pandemic, and essential frontline workers selflessly go about their lives, offering aid to those who are infected. Today is mainly honoring those unsung heroes. On the flip side, with a third of the global population on lockdown, many people are forced to work from home. A major global poll conducted by One Poll suggests that by far the majority of office workers are actually happier working from home. The poll even revealed that some 50% of participants would happily take a pay cut if it meant they could do so indefinitely. Looking back, could Corona have changed the way we work in the future forever? I wonder. Let us know what you think. Now, taking a quick glimpse into the world of entertainment. After more than 5 years since the original series aired, beloved and quirky sitcom Parks and Recreation returned for a big TV special benefiting a good cause. A first look teaser sees two of the most popular characters, Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson, played by Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman, respectively, connecting over video call to find out how the COVID-19 outbreak and social distancing has impacted their lives. Ever the survivalist and reclusive libertarian, Ron responds, "I've been practicing social distancing since I was 4 years old." The reunion telecast was created to help raise money for Feeding America's COVID-19 Response Fund and starred all the original cast members, including Chris Pratt, Aubrey Plaza, and Rob Lowe. That was your 7 o'clock news headlines. We expand on them a little bit later on. Right now, it's time to have the first look at the weather with Jamie.
Thank you so much, Kuthler. Time to look at those weather this morning. Now, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Laken Adams, a photographer, captured this breathtaking sunrise picture of a radiant orange sky silhouetted by trees and houses from her home in Blackheath in the mother city. Now, the clouds will give way to some sun in Cape Town today, reaching a high of 22 degrees. We've also asked you to send in pictures of your hometown. Now, Shishloka Valave sent us this beautiful picture from Bushbuck Ridge in the place of the rising sun itself, Mpumalanga, where sunny and delightful weather can be expected today, reaching a maximum temperature of 27 degrees. Thank you both to Laken and Shishloka. We hope you have a great weekend. Now, happy Workers' Day, but also happy May Day. It's the first day of the new month and can expect partly sunny and cooler conditions throughout the country. Starting off with Polokwane, your low is 10, peaking at 24 degrees. Plenty of sunshine can be expected for you, Umbumbela, today, ranging from 14 to 28 degrees. Pretoria, 10-24, and then hazy sunshine can be seen in Johannesburg today with a minimum temperature of 8 and a maximum of 22. Mahikeng, 9-24, and then sunny to partly cloudy conditions for you, Klerksdorp, today with a minimum temperature of 6 and a maximum of 23. Now, mostly cloudy with a light northwesterly breeze of 6 kilometers per hour can be expected for you, Kimberley, today with a range of 8 to 23 degrees, and the coolest start to the day can be found in Bloemfontein with a low of 3 and a high of 22. Sunshine expected for you, Richards Bay, today with a range of 13 to 27. Pietermaritzburg, 10-26. And if you do find yourself in South Africa's playground, Durban, sunny conditions are expected for you today with a low of 16 and a high of 26. Mthatha, 6-25, and then a light southwesterly breeze of 9 kilometers per hour expected for you, East London, with a low of 14 and a high of 26. Cradock, 4-24, and then mostly cloudy conditions for you, Port Elizabeth, with a low of 12 and a high of 23. George, 12-23, Sutherland, 7-20, and then partly sunny conditions for the mother city, Cape Town, today with a low of 13 and a high of 22. Worcester, 9-27, and then sunshine through high clouds for you, Uppington, with a low of 12 and a peak of 28. Now, being on lockdown does not mean we can't get to see this beautiful country that we live in, so send us a picture of your hometown and we could show it live on the show. Make sure to include a picture of yourself and why you love your town so much. But of course, whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, happy Friday to all of you.
Pharmadynamics, effective, affordable healthcare.
A wonderful Friday indeed.
It is, and it's also Duk Friday. Let us not forget, so I hope you guys are rocking your Duks. But this morning we're serving you with your daily dose of inspiration, and we're bringing you some words of inspiration from Fred Rogers, who is an icon in children's television in America. As the much-loved host of the public TV show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which ran on PBS from 1968 to 2001, he approached his young audience with respect and a directness about issues children faced in 1999. He was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame, and in 2002 he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He once shared these words.
Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else. I'll repeat that. Often when you think you're at the end of something, you are at the beginning of something else. It might be the end of a normal life as we know it for us, but it's also the end of a destructive pattern as we race. As a race have adopted. So let's look forward to a new beginning where we treat the world and each other with more kindness and, of course, consideration.
Find your smooth fortune with Tropica. Buy a Tropica, follow the entry details on the pack, and stand a chance to win your share of 1 million rand in prizes, such as a trip for two with KLM to Amsterdam, LG G8X cell phones, LG TVs and dishwashers, guest vouchers, guest watches and accessories, plus the smooth grand prize of a Suzuki Ignis. The more Tropica you buy, the more chances you have to win. Tropica, nothing smoother.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Hey, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Friday, May Day, guy. It's the 1st of May, and we've been sent some special birthday wishes for this day. But if it is your birthday today, you're celebrating alongside Jamie Dornan, who turns 39 years old today. Of course, you know who this face is. He's an actor and a model from Northern Ireland, and he has modeled for big campaigns like Hugo Boss, Calvin Klein, but he's most recognized for his role as, you know, Christian Grey in the 50 Shades of Grey franchise. Now, Jamie has been low on the social media lately, but made his appearance after 4 years of not posting. Well, we hope he doesn't pull another act like that, because, brother, we need to see you nowadays. You are just looking a whole lot of hello. Hi. But happy birthday, Jamie.
Crazy for Jamie, but happy birthday to you. Now, to the rest of you superstars out there celebrating your birthday, we've got Noma Langisa. It's her 33rd birthday sent in by Zimbra, so let's check it out.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Malisa. Happy birthday to you. Yip yip. Hooray! Yip yip. Hooray!
Aww,
That is just so so special. I love it. And now we got another one sent in by Sindile. Let's have a look at this.
Happy birthday. We hope that you have a great one. May you get all that your heart desires. Have a great impact in the team as a senior player. Continue having the impact that you have, and we plead with you that you stay at home during these tough times, during the lockdown.
There's always that one brother that's just trying to bring the swag out when they're trying to wish someone a happy birthday. Like, you know what's up. But we're going to keep it going, keep it flowing, because the next one goes to Ria Rona. We wish you a happiest lockdown birthday that is as beautiful, incredible, and unique as you are. Happy 11th birthday. Love you lots from your mom, from dad, and Ozara. Oh, that is so sweet. And another one for Thapelo. I'm so fortunate that I was able to marry a man who was not only my better half, but my soulmate as well. Happy birthday to my love, Thapelo. I love you from your wife, Gladness Siakwa. Oh, wow, love that love.
I love that. Now we've got another birthday. Happy 34th birthday to Lauren. Love from Dad, Mum, Melissa, and Ronald. Well, happy birthday to you, Melissa. Now Jethro Joel Lategan also has his first birthday and his crown birthday, and it's to our baby Jethro Joel Lategan. You are our angel and miracle child. You are indeed a blessed gift from God and made our greatest dream come true. We love you to infinity and beyond, baby boy, from your dad and mom, Fabian and Karen Lategan.
Look at that face. I just want to eat those.
Sail away, Jethro.
But then last and definitely not least, Sisa from Nedbank. Oh, this next birthday wish is for a very special guest that visits Expresso quite often and schools us in cash money. She's one of our favorite friends in finance. It's the one and only Sisa from Nedbank. Sisa, we hope that you have a great birthday today despite being stuck on the couch. But we love having you on the show and can't wait to have you back soon because Sisa can drop some moves. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Sisa is just like over there. We keep it. She's a sister. But of course, if you want to send a video to, you can do so by sending it to 071-640-6551 or email your wishes to birthdays@cordova.tv. You could make a loved one's special day even more beautiful. Let's take a look at a beautiful story, how we can spread the word and not the virus.
We've been hearing some amazing songs that are dedicated to spreading awareness about preventing the spread of COVID-19. And one of the latest is a collaboration between South African singer Zolani Mahola and SAMA-winning composer Sue Labner. Take a look.
Keep your distance, stay at home, don't shake hands, you can call on the phone. If someone's too close, just say, I cannot, you know, I might be fine, but my granny may not. And so we go, spread the word, not the virus, spread the word to everyone. Inspire us, show kindness, kindness is your way. Spread the word, not the virus, spread the word to all. Inspire us, unite us, know it is the way. Spread the word, not the virus, spread the word to all. Inspire us, unite us.
I absolutely love that. Now, this song has been created for a good cause, all to raise funds for the Africa Tikkun NPC, which is committed to investing in education, health and social services for children in South Africa. We're being joined via video call by the CEO, Mark Labner, Zolani and Sue. A very good morning to you all. Thank you for joining us today.
Lovely to see you.
The lockdown and the COVID-19 crisis has allowed musicians and artists to be creative with how they share music with the fans. How have you been engaging with people with regards to, your music on the online space?
Well, this song has been a perfect example of how music making has changed during the COVID time, because Sue Labner sent me a piece of music that she had created with melody and with the words and with this beautiful track. And she sent it to me and said, put your voice on it. And that's what she did as well, with various other wonderful South African singers. And in a quick amount of time, she was able to put this track together. So this has been an amazing gift of this time, I think.
Sue, you wrote the song for the PSA. How did the idea come about, and how was, the accompanying video put together?
So, everybody's been looking on WhatsApp and everything, and all these amazing videos, beautiful stuff all around the world, but I hadn't seen much children's stuff. And that's always been my love, my passion, my commitment. And of course, Tikkun being a cradle to career organization, this was the perfect place to actually pitch a song for. So it was a real blessing. It was a real gift to work on. And I hope it's a gift that spreads its magic far and wide.
All of that love and happiness and happy energy is translated in the final product. So once again, thank you so much for that. Mark, the Africa Tikkun ethos is driven by the Cradle to Career 360-degree model. How does this work, and what are the benefits for the youth?
Well, pre-COVID, essentially what we were tackling is youth unemployment. And our philosophy was that you've got to put productive people into the jobs that they're well suited to. So we realized that there are a number of gaps in the social infrastructure. So the Cradle to Career model was born some 12 odd years ago in our organization, where we realized we had to invest in early childhood development, building centers in the township communities. Next door to them, to build after schools youth development. That's the next phase of life development. And then the final phase of development being preparation for the world of work, career development. And then we actually have an entity also in the organization that specifically goes out to companies and matches people to job opportunities, learnerships and the likes. When COVID struck, we turned our whole structure into an emergency relief service where we would offer both food security, masks, hygiene, and as much as we possibly could, we still continued on doing things like learnerships online. We've got ECD material that's now going out online to parents so they can, whilst they're in the lockdown, still continue the ECD experience.
It covers a spectrum of any child's life, which is absolutely important and vital, especially during this time. But I'm pretty sure that you are faced with some challenges that are presented by the COVID-19 as well. What are some of those challenges, especially in underprivileged communities?
Well, the first issue that I think everybody's probably aware of is this issue of food security. Education and training and job opportunities, really they're pale into insignificance if you haven't got a meal. And a large proportion of the people that we work with, our community members themselves, don't go back home to refrigerated environments where they can stock up food and stuff like this. They've got to literally access food security on a day-to-day basis. The issue of trust is an enormously important one. So when songs come out, like those that my sister and Zolani have been so grateful. I'm so grateful that they're put together. It helps us to reiterate the fact that we care. Communities in a state of fear necessarily look to see who looks after them and who do they necessarily believe and trust in. So fortunately, as I say, 25 years of experience Africa Tikkun has had within township communities gives us that ability to make people realize that we really do care and we really are looking after the best interests, starting all the way from food security to hygiene to education and job opportunities.
I love that so much, and I commend you for all of that. Sue, lastly, how can you contribute to Africa Tikkun's COVID-19 Relief Fund?
Well, you will see from the song that went out, there was a beautiful video made by Mandy Jacobson and Richard Mayers. But there is a website at the end of the song, africatikkun.org. Bear in mind, things like 20 Rand will buy one mask. So, you can really contribute to as little or as big as you can manage, but every contribution actually make a difference. And I would love also for people to go and look at the lockdown stories on the Africa Tikkun news blog. They're beautiful lockdown stories from young people, their experiences, etc. And it's lovely to actually just experience and be a part of.
And it's important to document your experience during this time. Kudos to all of us. Now, Sizolani, for you, lastly, why do you think music has been able to unite people throughout this crisis? And why is it so important to you to lend your talents to good causes?
Well, music is a universal language. It's really one of the first that we all speak. So I think that using the vehicle of music has always been a wonderful tool. And we've seen that certainly in our country in struggle days, and we see it all over the world. So in terms of linking music to education or linking music to messaging, it always will be a vehicle to get into people's hearts, straight into people's hearts.
Sue, Mark and Zolani, thank you so much for joining us this morning and just also sharing your talents and extending a helping hand to those in need, and also for providing an entertaining and engaging way for people to learn too, like in the words of the song, spread the word, not the virus. To find out how you can donate to Africa Tikkun COVID-19 relief efforts, simply visit africatikkun.org/face up to COVID-19.
And search for Raising Hope.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Chad Nathan is a Cape Town-based cinematographer who has been documenting the coronavirus since the 27th of March. Now, by doing this, he noticed that the huge impact that the disease has on the community, especially the less fortunate in South Africa. This has inspired him to start a campaign in order to raise funds to help those in need. Now, joining me now to tell us more about the Raising Hope campaign is founder himself, Chad Nathan. Good morning, Chad.
Morning, how you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Good.
Now, you use your passion and love for cinematography to document the coronavirus, but take us through it. What inspired you to take out your drone and capture the streets of Cape Town?
So, I mean, as a cinematographer, videographer, photographer, I think, just imagining Cape Town, which is normally just a bustling, energetic city full of people, full of energy, just to imagine it, when Cyril Ramaphosa announced that lockdown, I knew that, wow, this is going to be unprecedented times and it's going to be history in the making, and I'm definitely going to want to somehow capture it. And just imagining the city from above just being completely empty. In South Africa, people were sharing, people were commenting, So I knew I had something, it was something special to share.
You were already looking 5 steps ahead when he announced, when President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the lockdown. But of course, this started a campaign called Raising Hope. Tell us a bit more about that.
So the campaign Raising Hope, I mean, I was documenting, I went out every single day, and the scenes that I was seeing they were super depressing, you know, seeing people that were starving and nothing was really happening, you know. People were waiting for food parcels, and I was in Khayelitsha, I went into Umfuleni, I went into Langa, I went into the Cape Flats, and I felt like I was showing a real picture. And, you know, after posting all this content, to me it was pretty negative. So I wanted to change things up. I wanted to show the positive that people are doing. And 2 weeks into lockdown, I got hold of Danny Diliberto, who's the founder of Ladles of Love. We somehow got in contact through a friend that said, Chad, I'm using your footage for my auntie's charity. I said, sure, you can use it. What's the charity? And he said it's Ladles of Love. So I spoke to Danny Diliberto. I said, I'm coming in to film Ladles of Love. And with shooting the content there and seeing what the guys did there, they had teamed up with Janssen Co., which is a famous restaurant here in Cape Town. And I saw such positive attitudes, and I saw people smiling, and I saw the volunteers, and I went out and did deliveries into Kulamberg where all the homeless were, and I followed them around the whole day, and I knew with that footage that I had taken that day, that was going to be, you know, the start of something amazing. I then went on to capture a few different organizations such as Breadline Africa, Cans with Purpose, and Courage, which helps feed the people in Imizama Yetu Township in Hout Bay. So I knew I had taken 2 organizations, I had filmed them, and I wanted to help, and I wanted to carry on helping. So I started the Raising Hope campaign, and I know with my platform on Instagram, the people that follow Ginger with the GoPro, they're good people, because look what they've done in 10 days and how they've donated. So it's been amazing. I'm very glad to say that we're donating 50,000 Rand to each organization. And we even going on to, you know, any other organization that, you know, we're looking to help. Someone came to us and said, Chad, the refugees, their shacks or houses got burnt down. So that the 50,000 Rand there goes towards helping, you know, buy toothbrushes, toothpaste, clothes, food. Each organization is, you know, depends if it's in the Cape Flats, they're feeding 5,000 to 7,000 children a day. People need help, and what's the most amazing thing about this is that I've seen a whole community come together because they want to help.
Speaking about helping and the community, how can the community get involved and maybe donate to the campaign?
So it's really easy, and we've started a new initiative with Raising Hope. If you want to get involved in the Raising Hope campaign, you just need to go onto my profile, Ginger with the GoPro, and the link will be in my bio. It will say Raising Hope. You click that link. There's a yellow donate button. You donate to the cause. And as I say, I just would like to add this now. Over the last 4 or 5 days, I've been just on the phone or on my DMs speaking to about 10 to 15 brands, and we're going to be giving away prizes every single day. Basically, it's a raffle. So, for instance, I just gave away one of my prints. So it's just, you know, saying thank you to everyone, and we just want more and more people to donate. We want to hit that 500,000 goal.
Chad, you know what? It's so inspiring to see that there are people like you who are willing to jump in and help those in need. Thank you so much. We salute you.
Thank you so much, and keep safe.
If you at home can and would like to donate to the Raising Hope campaign, visit their crowdfund page at www.backabuddy.co.za and search for Raising Hope.
Oh, that is totally so inspiring. Well done. We take our hats off to you, Chad Nathan. Now, listen to this. More inspiring stories and news over this side of the building, whether it's an aunt or an uncle, a member of your community, or just a stranger story that you've come across that's inspired you. We want to know all about it. We want to know who your hashtag God Game Lockdown Legends are, and you could both win a game voucher. Now, to get the ball rolling, we're going to be sharing 2 nominations that we have received from you, our viewers. And this week, it promises some more unique entries. Here's Mickey Baring's nomination.
this is cool. Now, Mickey Bering said, I nominate Carol Ann Warren from We Care Foundation here in KwaZulu-Natal, South Coast. And she and her hubby do amazing work on arranging food parcels, clothing and books for the needy and homeless people. And they are supporting a place for the homeless named Tent City too. And they are always there to help people for many years already. And they're also known here as the parents of the community. Now, isn't that awesome? And they deliver for everything and for everyone that is requesting it. Now, isn't that just special?
They're champions. They're absolute champions. And I think every single community does have people like that. It's about recognizing these people, and that's why this game campaign is so fantastic. But our next nomination this morning is from Anne Potgieter. And Anne said, #GodGame. Game stores. I nominate Debbie Lynn De Beer and Michael Fenter. They've been collecting donations and packing hampers for the forgotten poorest of the poor since lockdown started, and they have no income, having recently resigned to join an organization looking for missing persons and more. And all is done at their own cost. They are phenomenal and deserve recognition.
Wow, isn't that just good? I think we can all take a chapter out of that. And
yes,
it's really inspiring to see what you can do with literally so little. It's something I think we can all kind of, in a way, try to replicate as well.
Absolutely, and they're so selfless, you can tell.
Yeah, now, if you know someone spreading positivity in an unexpected way, nominate them and you could both win a 1,000 Rand game voucher. And to enter, all you have to do is tell us who your lockdown legend is and, of course, why. Now, use the hashtag #GotGame and tag game stores, and you could win. Now, the T's and C's can be found on the expressoshow.com, and the competition runs until the 8th of May, 2020.
You've got some time to get those legends in your community through. But of course, in the spirit of being prepared, listen to this. Game has you covered with all the essential items that you're going to need during this time. They include groceries, pet food, cleaning items, hand sanitizer, baby products, and stationery for all of your homeschooling needs. But also, just in time for the cooler season, the list has also expanded to include heaters, which we're all going to need. So if you find any essential products at a cheaper price, well, show them online or in store, and they'll beat that price by 10%. 10%. They'll beat it on the difference. This is under their price beat promise. And of course, they open Monday to Friday from 9 to 5 and Saturdays as well.
Saturday, Sunday, and public holidays from 9 o'clock all the way up until 3 in the afternoon.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful South Africans. This is your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso. We're live on SABC3 on this Friday morning. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up with us. Now, we're turning our gaze or our focus over to the novel coronavirus. Of course, as of today, the national lockdown, which was implemented 36 days ago, it'll move from level 5 to level 4. That starts today. And South Africans will now see eased rules and regulations of the lockdown, but still need to take the necessary precautions to protect themselves against the deadly virus. Now, the Western Cape remains the epicenter of the novel disease, leading in number of confirmed cases in South Africa. And the Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winder, has been working hard, reporting on all that the province is doing, and of course what this means in the greater context of the country. He now joins us on the line to give us an update on the coronavirus in the country. Alan Winder, Mr. Alan Winder, Premier of the Western Cape, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you very much, and really good to be with you.
Mr.
Although it could be out jogging, I suppose.
You know what? You will be able to do that now with the eased regulations between 6 and 9 o'clock. So I'm just reminding you of the time. You still have some time after this call. But Mr. Winder, with the Western Cape leading in the number of positive cases in South Africa, can you give us an update on the coronavirus in South Africa as a whole?
Well, I mean, I sometimes don't know if I like the word "we leading" because it's not a competition. But we really are testing in our province. We know that, well, I mean, we heard that even before we had our first corona case or COVID-19 case, when we were preparing way back a few months ago, seeing what was happening in the northern hemisphere, knowing that one of these days it's probably going to come here. What are we going to do about it? I still remember that first day going out to Tygerberg Hospital to showcase the quarantine space and the ICU space, and on the way there we got our first case. And the roller coaster between that day of number 1 and today, where we had now it's 2 days ago, the best testing day ever, where 2,784 tests were done in one day. We now doing 12,500 tests a week. The week before we were doing 9,000 tests. So really upping the tests, because we saw in the rest of the world testing. Then you get to understand what's happening. And of course, because we are testing, and it's not only the sort of going in and doing the sort of screening and testing, where we're over 200,000 screenings. It is the targeted testing. So when you find someone with a case, we go and find every single person around that person. So if you're on a shift, working in a factory or working in a food store or something, we'll check every single person. And by doing that, we pick up so many more cases. But I think it also helps us then to understand that area and contain it, which is what we really want to do. We're trying to slow the curve so that we've got sufficient beds and sufficient nurses and sufficient PPE and sufficient, wherewithal to deal with the peak when eventually this virus hits its peak in our country. And that's what we're doing. That's why we launched the new hospital, which is going to be at the CTRCC. We're going to be at least 3 new hospitals, but probably 4 or 5.
Well, we know that you mentioned the Cape Town International Convention Centre. Of course, it's been a big, important part of the city of Cape Town, of course, of the Western Cape as well. It's now going to be playing this big role in the fight against COVID-19. Tell us more about how you're going to be using the CTRCC in this regard.
So, we've spent quite a few days, our epidemiologists giving us the advice on the one side, and then our emergency medical people looking at the other side, and the emergency medical people saying, what do we need? We worked out that we need, at the peak, an extra 1,000 high care beds and an extra 750 ICU beds. We can't really build ICU beds. They're very expensive, or rooms, because it takes lots of technology. I think there's about 150 more coming in. But what we can do is build high care beds. And it's now going to be 857 in the CTRCC. We've signed that contract. So over the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, the central side of the CTRCC will become the biggest hospital in the Western Cape. And that's the next stage. We can do 2 more, as I said. And, I think it's really great that they've given us the facility at no cost, because obviously to fit it out does cost. And so this is called being prepared and making sure we've already built a whole lot of triage and testing facilities next door to all of our healthcare facilities. That's almost all finished. We finished this week, the first week of May, and then we're moving on to obviously the extra beds, which we'll need probably in June and July.
Well, Premier, I have to commend you and the rest of your team in the province for all the work that you have put in, really making sure that you are, number one, proactive, but also looking at working across different areas and spaces all at the same time, looking at the future and making sure that the preparedness levels are right at the top. But let's talk about level 4, which obviously has been implemented as of today. We're seeing that starting. What are some of the major challenges, or rather changes, not challenges, the changes between level 4 and level 5? And maybe perhaps you can tap into those challenges that we can expect with the difference as well.
Okay, so what I don't want is level 4 becoming a free-for-all. We've already got hotspot areas where it's been difficult in lockdown. I know for people to lock down, I mean, if you live in a very informal, densely populated area, you can't stay at home. But you've still got to manage social distancing. You've still got to manage hygiene. And going from level 5 to level 4, we cannot allow this virus to explode. So we need to make sure we follow the rules. There's a little bit of relaxation. So make sure you've got your mask. If you don't have a mask, just wrap a T-shirt around your face. I went to go and visit 2 stores yesterday who were closed and then reopened because of cases, to go and see how they're managing their hygiene practices, speak to the shoppers. This was in Khayelitsha. I was really grateful to see the social distancing. Many people, even yesterday, which wasn't compulsory to wear masks, they were wearing masks, and the retail outlets handing them out to customers. They won't allow someone indoors into their retail outlet without a mask. We need to continue with our vigilance while we're still getting our health care, because all we're doing with lockdown is preparing for the health care, making sure we've got enough in place, whether it's PPP or hospital beds, so that we can actually get through the peak and then move on to the other side. But today, the first day, we'll monitor it closely. Obviously, we could go back to level 5 if people aren't behaving, if we aren't seeing proper management. So please, and of course, today's Workers' Day. So recognizing, I think more than ever before, people who used to have a job and now suddenly are sitting at home without a job, and it really distresses me no end. I would like to see more businesses opening up, and we really need to see how we can open up in a new way that doesn't spread the virus, but it allows us to keep people employed. It allows entrepreneurs to keep their businesses going. We need to focus on jobs as well as the health care.
Thank you very much, Premier of the Western Cape, Mr. Alan Winde. Really fantastic work you're doing out there. And go take your jog now before you head out to the street to check the management of level 4. Now, of course, although the lockdown regulations have eased from level 5 to level 4, please do make sure that you still protect yourself and others. We have to keep each other strict during this time, prevent the spread of COVID-19, and wash your hands often. Practice social distancing, wear a mask when needed. If you don't have one, a T-shirt around your nose and your mouth, cover those areas, and of course only leave the house absolutely when necessary. And once again, thank you very much to the Premier of the Western Cape, Mr. Alan Winde, for joining us this morning.
Now more than ever, we are relying on social media to stay connected with the loved ones we are apart from, learn about the latest COVID-19 developments and share these with the community we care about. But with so much news on the crisis out there and being in a heightened state of paranoia, we might find ourselves unknowingly spreading inaccurate information. That's why we're being joined via video call by South Africa's leading expert on social media law and founder and CEO of the digital law company, Emma Sadler, who will share more on how we can use social media more effectively and safely during the COVID-19 crisis. A very good morning to you, Emma. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
There's a huge focus on social media during this time, as this is how people are keeping connected and also with developments. How have you been keeping busy during lockdown, or has the lockdown been keeping you busy?
Yeah, I think as much as social media has been allowing everybody to stay connected, it's also given everybody another way to mess up, because I have been busy. I spent the week before lockdown filming as many talks as I could, getting things online. I'm about to launch the Digital Law Academy. And then I've had a very fast lesson on how to give webinars.
Now, Emma, I mean, you've touched on so many things, but one thing that you've also touched on is that people still do mess up on social media, especially because we're spending most of our time on the phone. But why is it harmful to spread fake news on social media, especially during a pandemic like this one?
in a pandemic, in a physical health pandemic, where we're spreading fake news, we can actually do very serious harm.
Yes.
The types of fake news which really worry me, guys, is the fake news which either encourages complacency, so basically the fake news that says only white people can get COVID-19, or there's a vaccine which has been developed, so you don't need to worry about getting it. The other type of fake news that I'm nervous of is scaremongering. We've seen government roll out, actually specifically, a criminal offense around fake news. But basically what it says is that if you share fake news with the intention to deceive, it has to be either about the illness or about somebody's status or about government's actions to combat the illness. If you share it with the intention to deceive the person you're sending that content to, then you can be criminally charged. If you are just sharing everything you receive without interrogating that content and making sure that it's true, then you too could be guilty of this criminal offense.
Wow. I mean, on WhatsApp alone, there are so many chain messages of things regarding the pandemic that aren't true. And it's scary because some of our parents, they actually engage with such content, you know? So how can we determine on a very base level what we are seeing online is indeed true information?
So I think that we've got to get to the point where we presume that every single thing we receive is fake. So I've got this campaign where I say fake news stops with me. Every single thing I receive, I presume it's rubbish until I can go and prove that it's true. Does it look true? Does it have a credible source? Are the main news websites and news channels running the story? You know, if it says this comes from Johns Hopkins University, then I'll go to the Johns Hopkins University Facebook page, see if they're, and usually the very first thing on those pages is, we're aware of this voice note going around. It's got nothing to do with us.
So make sure to reference a reputable publication before actually engaging with anything regarding to the pandemic. Now, any major world event is sure to create new phenomena on social media. What has there been an increase of during the time of COVID-19 crisis?
You know, I think that there's been a few things I've seen really blow up. The first is a crime that I call sextortion. It's just a made-up word, but it's basically where you meet somebody online, usually on an online dating site, whether it's on Tinder or Grindr, and you start a relationship with that person, and then they, you know, chat to you a lot, and you can't meet people face-to-face at the moment if you meet them online. You can't arrange to go and have a cup of coffee with them because we're all in lockdown, right? And then they make you comfortable. They solicit naked pictures or compromising pictures out of you. They pretend to be somebody that they're definitely not. And then as soon as they get these pictures, they turn around and say to you, unless you send me Bitcoin or 5,000 Rand to my e-wallet, I'm going to put this online. And people panic and they pay. So I think that, you know, if you have ever been the victim of sextortion, go to my website. It's called the Digital Law Company. And there's a blog there called the Sextortion Scam. It's something that's been going on for a few years, but suddenly in the last couple of weeks, there's been a dramatic increase. I'm getting at least 30 inquiries a day from people who've been victims of this. And then I think whenever there are desperate times economically and people are desperate at the moment, then we see an increase in online scams. So particularly phishing emails, this email that says, we've got footage of you watching pornography, and unless you pay us, we're going to release this footage. And for some reason, they have your password. I think we all need to take a moment to make sure that we're exercising good password management. I also recommend everyone goes to a website called Have I Been Pawned? PWNED. And it'll tell you if your email has ever been hacked. And if your email has been hacked and you're using that same password anywhere else, then make sure that you've changed that password. We've also seen a huge increase in people naming and shaming lockdown offenders online. You know, I take a picture of my neighbor who's taking their dog for a walk, which is not allowed during lockdown. It's a criminal offense. It's defamation, certainly, but in legal terms, I would say that it's defensible defamation because what you're saying is true and for the benefit of the public because you're outing somebody who is doing something illegal. And from not so much a legal point of view, but from a psychological point of view, we're seeing a lot more addiction to technology. So I think that we've all got to take a moment to realize that we are addicted. We're probably more addicted connected than ever during lockdown to our technology, and we need to rage against it. Go for a digital detox and make sure that you're not spending too much time online, because life is better in the real world.
I agree with you on that one. And I know that social media does have its advantages and disadvantages, but it's up to us to be very cautious and aware of what we put out there, what we share, and how we engage with each other. Thank you so much, Emma, for talking to us this morning. I hope that you have a fantastic morning further.
Thank you so much. All the best to you guys. Stay safe.
Thank you so much. Now take heed to Emma's advice. There's already enough going on in the world without your social media being in an unsafe space. Make sure to use social media as a tool and not for harmful misinformation.
Kick off your savings goals with 0 monthly fees and unlimited swipes. Get a pay-as-you-use account on the Nedbank Money app today.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Friday edition. It's Workers' Day, and of course, we're doing something special. And we have something so exciting for you on the menu today. Now, Chef Clem is back in the kitchen to share some basic kitchen skills and some useful hacks, of course, as well. And he's going to be giving us great tips on how to prepare the perfect sofrito and shakshuka. And he's using tin tomatoes, and they are on this week's Can't Miss deals in the Woolworths Daily Difference, and the quality you love for less than you think. Clem,
Yeah.
Sounds exciting. But for all of you that haven't really seen the show earlier, what is a sofrito and a shakshuka?
Yeah, so we've made a shakshuka before.
Okay.
A lot of people have asked, can you please do it again? My shakshuka's not coming out correctly. Can we do it again? So, okay, first things first. What is a sofrito?
Yes.
It's a combination of our carrots, celery, and onion, cooked down with some bay leaves, some tomato paste, and basically there's a concentration of flavor. This makes anything taste amazing. You can also use it to rub it. No, you don't rub it on. I'm just joking.
Official mask.
Honestly, your curries, your stews, your pasta sauces, if you use this first as your base, you're going to be winning every single time. I'm going to show you how to make that.
It looks a lot like an acha or a s'more. We used to have a s'more back
It's a concentration of like a s'more, essentially, yes. Okay. That's what this is. Then what is a shakshuka? It's eggs cooked in a s'more.
Eggs cooked in a s'more?
Yeah.
Okay, is that it?
That's basically what it is.
Okay.
So in the Mediterranean version, they call it a ragu. In Mexico, they call it huevos rancheros.
Wait, what? Excuse us?
Yes, learning languages during the lockdown. And we call it a shakshuka as well, which is like more like a Middle Eastern name for it as well. So that's what it is.
Okay,
We've all got a version of eggs cooked in tomato sauce somehow. There we go. Even in India, they got like an egg curry. There we go.
Right.
So in our pot first, we're gonna go with some onion, and then celery and carrots.
Is that water boiling?
Excuse me?
There's water in there?
There's a bit of oil in there.
Oh,
yeah.
oil, okay.
So what's quite important, you want to keep the shape or the size of your vegetables the same, because you want everything to cook equally. So the first thing first, when you chop your veggies, have a sharp knife, okay? A blunt knife is more harmful than a sharp knife. True story, because you're forcing the knife more, you're going to slip, you're going to cut yourself.
Yeah.
Make sure your knife is always sharp. This is called a sharpening steel. It's just like running your blade across.
You look like one of those hardcore cats in the movies, you know, what's up, it's about to go down.
Yeah, but if you don't have one of these, it's super simple to still keep your knife in check. This is an unglazed, the bottom of this dish is unglazed, right? So it's not smooth. You can feel a bit of texture.
I always get that little gritty feeling.
You take your knife and you just run it across that. And you can kind of see already, a little bit of the color came off. That's just showing how you're honing that edge. Perfectly sharp. Then, all you need to do then, you can stop chopping.
Oh, look at this lad just showing off in the kitchen. My man.
Don't ask me to do that again. Don't ask me to do that again.
Out of here.
Okay, so you will not believe, one of the most frequently asked questions, how do I chop an onion? Okay, so I'm actually going to spend some time doing that quickly because we've seen how we do this and we do this very quickly.
Yeah, I get halfway through and I'm in tears.
You're done.
Like,
You're
I'm
crying.
done. Just chuck it in.
Childhood memories, things are going. Okay, so you got the bottom of your onion and you got the top, right? You're going to cut from the bottom to the top, so you basically have a half an onion, top and bottom. Then cut the little piece off. Keep the bottom of your onion still on. That's going to keep everything intact. You're not going to be chasing onion over your counter. Yeah.
Sensei is just shedding the
wax on.
Today.
Wax on. There we go. So now that we got the two little halves, you take your knife and you're going to cut across. You're basically creating those layers. I'm just going to do 2 today, but you'll see the better you get at doing this, you'll be able to do like 4 layers.
Right.
So you cut through twice.
And I noticed you didn't go all the way through.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Then you cut down. And then the next step is very important. Always keep your eyes on the onion. So don't look at someone when you're doing this, okay? Because this is an important part.
Stop that. Stop that. You're getting close to those fingers.
And look at that. So you got these beautiful pieces of onion, like this perfect little dice of onions, because you cut the layers across, and then you cut them down. So you're not spending extra time chopping all those extra onions. That's the tip. You'll get perfect veggies with your carrots, with your celery, with your onions if you follow those steps. Thank you. Okay, so back to the actual cooking.
Oh yes, we were cooking something.
That's why we're here. Okay, so the murapwa it's called, which is your carrots, your celery, and your onion. The holy trinity of any stew, curry.
Okay.
That's in there.
Yes.
That's cooking down nicely. Then to add some beautiful flavor to it, bay leaves. So underrated. Bay leaves add so much amazing flavor to your dish. You get it in anytime you fry onions, get that in there. So what's the next step is we're going to add some tomato paste to that. We're going to cook it down a little bit of garlic, and you're going to end up with this, right? This stuff is the magic. So a little bit of extra oil. I can see it's quite hot in this pan. Oil goes in. I'm going to add our sofrito, which is the done version of what's going to happen in this pot.
And the sofrito you could have kind of stored up and waiting already for another meal later on in the day. It doesn't have to be just prepared for that specific evening.
Absolutely. So what I do is I actually do make a big jar of this. And I always have a little bit of olive oil over the top so the air doesn't get in there, so it doesn't oxidize. So So it lasts for like months.
I feel like I need to bring a paper and just write all these. So much wisdom coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're on YouTube as well. You can go back and
check it out, guys. You didn't hear the man on YouTube, and of course, the ExpressoShow.com for all these incredible ingredients and inspiration. But back to the business. It's shikaku.
Shikaku? That's something else that we make. It's not this. This is a shakshuka.
Shakshuka.
Okay, cool. So tomatoes going in there. That's going to simmer off nicely. So to this, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add my eggs to the sauce now. It's going to cook inside that sauce.
You just bang it in straight raw, just like that.
Eggs in, just like that. I'm going to fast forward. In front of you is a version of what it looks like once the eggs cook through. Super beautiful and delicious.
So how long does it take between that and this?
I like a runny yolk, so it's going to cook for about 5 minutes in the sauce. Cook your whites, nice runny yolk. You got your bread. You're going to dunk it in there. I like making this because it feeds a lot of people all at once.
And it's a nice little social meal, I guess, once we are post-lockdown and share a big plate. So,
guys, I can't wait to celebrate with everyone, all my friends, family after this. This is the dish you make. Get about 8 eggs in this thing. Feed everyone all at once. Look how good that is. Get your bread.
And just like that, bang, and you dipping the bread in here?
Yes, you gotta dip. You gotta like.
It looks so good.
Get it in your face. It's so delicious. It's so good.
Try it out, guys. Let's see. Moment of truth. Ooh.
Ooh, how's that smoochy?
Oh, you've taken me straight back home.
Yeah.
There's some warmth and goodness in that, guys. That was absolutely delicious. Check it out. ExpressoShow.com. But so...
Oh, I added some chili to that one.
It's just too good. I can't even speak. It's too good.
Check it out. Amazing. This was delicious. Make it at home. If you can't find the recipe, well, you can. It's on ExpressoShow.com. Go get it.
We are 5 minutes into the final hour of the show. Let's have the final look at the news headlines. Starting off with our national news. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga yesterday proposed that grade 7 and 12 pupils return to school on June the 1st. She said scientific considerations will determine if and when schools reopen in a phased approach across the country. Final decisions will be made in conjunction with the National Command Council. Meanwhile, Minister of Higher Education Blade Nzimande said the suspension of campus-based activities at tertiary institutions will continue. Only final year medical students will be returning to campus and will also assist with the battle against COVID-19. The Gauteng High Court in Pretoria yesterday dismissed an application by a group of Muslim leaders and entities to declare certain parts of the lockdown regulations unconstitutional because it prohibits prayers in places of worship. The judge said in her judgment that every citizen has been called upon to make sacrifices to their fundamental rights entrenched in the Constitution. She said this was done for the greater good in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. On to international news. U.S. President Donald Trump says he believes China's handling of the coronavirus has proved that Beijing will do anything they can to make him lose his re-election bid in November. Trump has been heaping blame on China for the global pandemic that has killed at least 60,000 people in the United States. This has thrown the U.S. economy into deep recession, putting in jeopardy his hopes to be re-elected for another 4-year term. Moroccan authorities arrested more than 4,000 people in the past 3 days for violating a state of emergency, bringing the total number of arrests to some 77,000 since the government imposed a nationwide lockdown on March the 20th. Morocco has enforced strict measures in its bid to counter the spread of the coronavirus. Only essential workers are allowed to work, with schools, mosques, entertainment venues and non-essential stores all closed. The country currently has 4,289 reported cases of COVID-19. And now, how a 13-year-old dancer from Gugulethu wows Facebook with his Allegro. A young dancer from Gugulethu hasn't let the lockdown stop him from practicing his Allegro, a brisk, lively movement in ballet. The 13-year-old Zama dance school student, Uhlumelo Njangana, was practicing in his backyard when brothers Sean and Lubabalo filmed him performing and shared it on Facebook. The talented dancer has since inspired many watching the video with his high-energy performance. Uhlumelo last year won first place at the Move National Dance Competition with his La Cosere solo in the 12th and under repertoire section. The Zama Dance School has been using its Facebook group to stay in contact and share how they are keeping busy during lockdown. It was even arranged that they support students with food parcels. The school is based in Gugulethu near Cape Town. Now turning our gaze into the world of entertainment, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his fiancée Carrie Symonds announced the birth of a baby boy on Wednesday morning, just days after Johnson returned to work after recovering from the novel coronavirus. He was reportedly present for the birth, which took place at a hospital in London. Both mother and child are doing well and send their thanks to the fantastic NHS maternity team. In February, Symonds announced the couple was expecting in early summer and that they had become engaged last year after Johnson and his second wife, Marina Wheeler, divorced earlier in the year. They're the first unmarried couple to move into the Prime Minister's residence at number 10 Downing Street together. Johnson had previously said that he intended to take paternity leave after the birth of his son, though it was unclear if the COVID-19 crisis would change those plans. That was the final look at the news headlines today. Right now it's time for Uncle Tabsy to learn how to teach dogs to shake hands.
Calling all dog owners and all aspiring dog owners over here. Time for a brand new tutorial courtesy of our dog trainer, Karis Nefter from Happy Dogs. This next tutorial this morning might be a little handy. And yes, you heard it right. It's about teaching your dogs how to shake hands. Take a look at this.
Okay, so the first step is you need to put a whole handful of very delicious treats in your hand. I'm cheating this morning and I have a bit of cheese, not just Sam's normal dog food, because I know he'll be more excited. I've made a fist with my hand and I'm going to put it on the ground now. And when Sam gets frustrated trying to find the treat and he scratches at my hand, I'm going to give him a piece to reward that action. So I'm putting my hand still. Oh, good boy. Okay. Sam did it easily, so he's getting a treat. And I'm going to repeat. And you just wait until your dog does it. Eventually they will. Yes. Even the littlest touch like that, you want to reward them? Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Ah, that's it. Okay, you can see Sam's understanding it now. Every time he does it, he gets a reward. Sam. If they get bored, you can move your hand a little bit. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Okay, so step 2. Once your dog will touch your hand with your hand flat on the ground, then you start lifting it off the ground. You should still have treats in your hand at this stage, but now we want to get the dog in a sitting position. So now, get your dog into a sit, and still with the handful of treats, bring your hand up a little bit higher. Yes! And then when they box at it, give them, yes boy, give them a treat. Always reward the littlest attempt when a trick is new. Sam isn't, yes boy, good. Okay? That's step 1 and 2 for a shake. Step 3 now is to take the treats out of your hand and reward them with the other hand, just like this. 3 now, you have the treat in your other hand, ask them to touch your empty hand and then reward them with your other hand. Sam, shake. Yes, good boy. Shake. Good boy. Good. Yay, good boy.
I love that. I absolutely love that. You see, we're getting our dose of training as dog owners or aspiring dog trainers, because you can't train a dog unless you've trained its owner. And today is your absolute last chance to win one of these incredible Ultra Dogs hampers. They're valued at 2,000 Rand each. To get your lucky paws on this hamper, we want to know, what is the biggest lesson that your pet has taught you? Okay, the biggest lesson that your pet has taught you. Share photos and stories on the competition post that you can find on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Find that and do that before 5 p.m. today to qualify. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. Good luck.
It's a beautiful Friday morning and it's time to get our bodies moving. Now, South Africa's leading deodorant brand Shield wants you to get up and get active. And of course, hashtag move more at home. So every Friday, courtesy of Shield, we get an exclusive training session with one of South Africa's hottest and best fitness trainers to give you the inspiration to get moving at home. And this morning, we are being served a first-class session with fitness influencer Mika Stefano. Mika, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you?
So good, and so excited to see what you got planned for us. And now I know that the lockdown changed the way you've been exercising at home, but are you exercising more because of it?
You know, funny enough, I think people and a lot of my clients who have been training online now are training more than they've ever trained before. The fact that there's no traffic, so you can just get out of bed, get into your gym gear, get working. A lot of people are also keeping very healthy because now they have time to actually cook their food. It's not just takeaways. So it seems like a lot of people are becoming healthier and just being a lot more creative with their workouts, which I think is absolutely amazing. Myself, I've been training more than I have. And the nice thing with it is I like to call it the original exercises. So you don't really need an equipment or anything for a push-up, for a squat. Those are the originals and anyone can do it, which is great. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need a fancy equipment at home. Anyone can get moving more at home. And that's what I think is absolutely amazing.
So cool. And let's hope that these healthy habits continue post the lockdown. Now, why do you think it's so important that the rest of South Africa gets up and moves more at home during this time?
You know, it's very important being healthy during this time. I mean, it is a virus that people can catch, so it's important being healthy at all times. Also, it's a mental thing. You need to keep your mind right. If your mind is right, your body's right. Everyone is in lockdown. We're in isolation, so it's like a little bit awkward times for everyone. But if you're keeping healthy, if you're staying moving, that's really important. It keeps your endorphins up and keeps us happy. So that's what you want during this time. So stay moving. And it's not just about like exercise, being fit. You can do any type of movement. If it's dance, Pilates, yoga, it doesn't just have to be what we're going to be doing, which is more of a HIIT kind of Tabata workout. Anyone can stay moving as long as you're comfortable at home and keeping your body active. That's what I say. Thumbs up to.
No, and I could not agree more. So now on to the good stuff. You mentioned we're doing like a HIIT Tabata workout. Can you take me through exactly what we're going to be doing today? Let's get down and dirty.
So the nice thing with Tabata, basically Tabata and HIIT is all about push, recover, and we do it according to time, not according to the exercise amount of reps, which I think is awesome. That means the whole family can get involved. You literally have 20 seconds. You push for that 20 seconds. So up to you. If you feel like you can smash it out, I want you to really push through. If you feel like this is enough, that's great too, and that's what we want. As long as you're moving, as long as you're moving. So it's a 20-second push, 10-second recover. The nicest thing with this, you can take any exercise, and you do a 20-second push. Push as hard as you can. Rest for 10 seconds. Push again for 20 seconds. You repeat this for 4 minutes, and then that circuit is done. You maybe pick 3 exercises. That's all you need to do. Staying moving, keeping your heart rates up, and just having a good time.
Sounds like a jewel and it sounds like a burner. So can we begin? Please show me what exercises we're going to be doing today because everybody at home is dying to find out. Let's do it.
So the first exercise we're going to jump into, anyone can get into it. It's a basic star jump. And the reason why I picked star jumps is because everyone needs to shine throughout this time. So a basic star jump. It's a 20-second push. 20 seconds, star jumps, just like that.
All right, so you heard the man. We are about to get shining. We're doing 20 seconds of star jumps. You can see Mika and I are already into it.
If you can't do normal star jump, you can just step into it.
All right, so Vinika, I love that. So a grading at home for everybody.
Exercise that we could add to this routine is a basic squat. With a squat, you need to make sure your feet are under your shoulders and chest is up. We're not slouching. Chest is up, feet are under your shoulders. Push this for 20 seconds. Nice.
Yeah, we're going into squats now, guys. 20 seconds of squats. You heard the man. He's getting us shaking, baking, and moving more at home. And this is collaboration with Shield, and Mika is doing something incredible. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. 4 sets in total. This is an incredible Tabata workout.
You can add a little jump to that. So maybe start off with a nice squat. As you progress, add a little jump to that. And then my favorite one that anyone can do at home, running on the spots. Just quick feet, running on the spots as fast as you can, in, out, high knees. You can do different variants of this. Gets your heart rate up, gets us sweating, and gets us moving more at home. And that's what we want to do. I mean,
I'm feeling it. And that wasn't even the full 20 seconds that we just showed you at home. And I'm already feeling my heart rate pounding. So now everybody at home, you can grab or put some epic music on and just get moving and stay active. And we'd love to see your workout videos and selfies. So please share them on our Expresso Facebook and Twitter pages using that hashtag #MoveMoreAtHome. And so for more fitness inspiration, courtesy of Shield, you can visit Mika Stefano's Instagram page at Mika Stefano. So let's keep moving, guys. Woo! I love it, brother. Woo!
Awesome. Keep moving. You're not even stopping. I mean, look at him go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Speed it up. 4, 3, 2,
1. Woo-hoo-hoo. It is done, people. I'll see you after the show for another epic live version of this, where we're going to be going through the full circuit, and I know you're going to love it. Stay tuned for more. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Shield's deodorant gives you the confidence to hashtag #MoveMoreAtHome. For more workout tips, visit www.shield.co.za/MoveMore.
Honey child, after that workout, it's time to cook up a healthy and nutritious meal. Now, maybe you're looking for some brunch inspiration to treat yourself this weekend, or maybe just a healthy snacking solution, then we've got the recipe just for you. Our Butcher Veg Rosties are quick and easy to make, and they are, a great way to use up the leftover veg from your fridge. Now, with the versatility of butter oil, a delicious blend of sunflower oil and butter, these veggie wonders will pack a punch in flavors, and Nicole is going to show us how to make it. Morning. Okay, I get veg, but what is Rosti?
A Rosti comes originally from Switzerland. It's almost like similar to a fritter, and they use potato based. That's all it is. So pan fry it. So you can do a large one or a small one, which I've done over there. So you can individually portion it. So I'm going to start off with the potato, the base. So this is where you get your kids, okay? You do the potato, you hide the veggies in the back. When you're looking at that, do you see carrots? Do you see a baby marrow? Do you see onion?
Absolutely not. This is how you can disguise it to the kids, so they'll be thinking that they're having like a little fritter, but actually it's a veg rosti.
Exactly. So I've got potato in here. Start with that first, because as the potato sits, it's going to start leaching water. That is what you don't want in your veg at all, because it makes your rosti very watery and takes long to cook, and you're going to miss out on that crispy element.
So what would you say would be key veg to use in a rosti? Is there like things you would steer away from and things you'd definitely put in, or can you just go boss, whatever?
This is kind of a very versatile thing, that's why we've got the baby marrow. If you're going to use baby marrow or aubergine that leaches water, let it sit, which I'm doing over here. Carrots are a great way to incorporate in here, and then also using sweet potato if you want to substitute normal potato, if you want a little less starchy things. So we're going to add some grated onion, also perfect for flavor.
Love that.
And then we're going to mix this up.
Mix. And the color as well looks so nice.
I know, it's so
all
beautiful.
the 7 colors.
Yeah, it's not just going to be a potato. This, like I said, this is a great way to hide in your veggies. So I'm going to do a very quick version here. And I'm going to whisk up 1 egg. This is going to hold it together. Usually you can let it soak in the egg and squeeze it out, but I'm going to squeeze it out right now. So as you can see,
all that I would see that. I would drink that. It looks like something you would drink like in a bottle. The shots that Chef Clem always gives us, it looks like something like that. Okay, so we're gonna squeeze it out.
Potato juice though.
I mean, listen, if you're trying to get some gains, then I'm sure potato juice is gonna do the trick. So squeeze it out with your hand
Squeeze
and then
it
pop
out.
it into the egg.
That's perfect. So I'm just going to quickly rinse my hands.
Yay. Always good to rinse your hands in between.
Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to mix this all up with a little bit of chives, just for added flavor. You can add any herbs, parsley, lemon zest. We're adding some garlic, some whole grain mustard. If you've got normal mustard, add in that. It's completely up to you. That's what's so nice about this. It's versatile.
I would add in some chili flakes as well, just to give some heat on that, because you can never go wrong with chili flakes.
So I'm going to add a bit of this butter oil us as chefs, we love cooking with butter and oil. So this is actually an amazing product because it saves all of that time. It's all in one.
Why is that?
Because butter has a higher burning or lower burning temperature. So when you add oil with the butter, it increases that temperature. So you still get that butter flavor without it burning.
I'm learning something new every day. So mix, 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 mix.
Mix, mix. And we're just gonna pop it up into our pan.
Listen,
Just
you're
like
using
that.
your hands a lot here. Okay, I
do.
get it. You're getting down and into it and everything. And then you want obviously that pan to be nice and hot, or do you want it to be like a meat?
No, you gotta have it nice and hot, but not too hot because otherwise your outside's gonna cook quicker than your inside, and you don't want that. You want it to be cooked through all the way because, like I said, this raw veg, so you need enough cooking time for that. And you're gonna pop that in there. Coat it nicely, and what's nice about these is you can prep them before the time, keep them in your fridge, and just before you're ready to serve it up to your family or to the kids, just pop it in the pan for a quick 1 minute each side, and doesn't need as long to cook.
We did like a nice breakfast version here. You can have it as lunch, maybe dinner, then have it with a nice salad, whatever you want to, then sear it in.
Exactly. So you got a little bit of poached egg there. You can do a fried egg. You can have it as is and have it as a side veg, almost with your roasts and things like that, because it's got everything in it. So yeah, that is all it is.
I am living for it. This is of course where you can find it. Expressoshow.com to get your hands onto Nicole's Veg Rosti. Brunch, lunch, dinner is served. But of course, if you are the ultimate undercover foodie, then listen up. Clover is giving you the chance to win a Clover Love Pack hamper. Now, we do have our very first winner today. Nicole, are you ready for this?
Okay, we're going to do a drum roll.
Yes, okay. Our first winner is Loshini Munsami, everybody. She is so amazing. She has shared her recipe creation of Indian sweetmeats in which she used clover butter. Amazing. It looks so yummy. And we have another winner, everybody. Are you ready, Nicole?
We're ready.
Give me that drum roll, mama. Wait, did it drop? It dropped. It dropped. It is Hope Motiane, everybody. Hope is giving us hope. She blew us away with her mouth-watering scones. She used clover Newmel and clover classic spread to make them look so fluffy and so gorgeous. I just want to put some cheese and jam and everything and just squeeze it in. So congratulations to both these winners. Now, like these winners, all you have to do is share your lockdown recipe inspiration with us by replying to the Clover competition post on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter page, and then post a picture of your recipe creation and use that hashtag Expresso Show and tell us which Clover product you use to create your dish. Now remember, those T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
Looks great.
Looks amazing, right?
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover.
last few weeks, we've had the absolute pleasure and privilege of having Ultra Dogs resident vet, Dr. Corinne Brink, join us every morning to answer all our questions about our pets, from the right diet to playtime to grooming and everything in between. And this morning, Dr. Corinne joins us again, but this time to answer all your burning questions. Good morning, Dr. Corinne.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a bit sad it's your last day with us, but obviously you're ending off with a bang, answering all those burning questions. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. I'm just sad that this is all over. I'm going to miss you guys.
Well, we're not letting you off the hook that easily. One question came through from Salvarani Coralso and wrote into us and wants to know, how do you handle a dog who wants to eat everything all the time? Sounds a little bit like us, but okay, how do we help her situation?
It depends why the little one is chewing and biting everything. You need to find the motivation behind it. Is the dog maybe pregnant and nursing, so then they will need more food? Is it maybe a behavioral issue that the puppy was underfed at one stage, so now the drive is to eat food? Or perhaps the pup is anxious. Maybe they moved house. Maybe there's a new member of the family. Maybe the little one is on a poor quality food and it's not meeting all the requirements. Another cause can be intestinal parasites, example worms. So the worms are actually absorbing all the nutrients and the dog is not getting any. It can be that there's an underlying condition like Cushing disease. That's a condition when the body excretes too much cortisone. So the dog just wants to eat and is hungry all the time. Or it can be a condition where the pancreas is not functioning properly. We call it exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. So by finding out why the little one is eating, you can correct it, but it really depends on the cause.
Oh, wow. So many options for what that could be. But I'm sure that might have answered her question. Now, next question comes from Shanae Skippers, and she wants to know, if you aren't close to a vet at this time, what can you give an adult cat for constipation? Is there maybe a natural remedy? She is a bit overweight, so what can I do to give her some exercise?
Unfortunately, there's nothing natural that's going to relieve the constipation immediately. It's going to be a multifactorial thing that she's going to do. First, she's going to make sure he drinks enough water. My little secret that I always tell the owners is freeze a can of tuna water. That's tuna water, the brine, and then put an ice cube in the water tray every day that I can drink more water because it tastes nice for them. I see she said it is an overweight cat, so he needs to lose weight because sometimes if they are overweight, they struggle to defecate. So a good idea is to get him on a diet, a proper diet food. Most of the diet foods on the market is high in fiber. An UltraCat metabolic food is a fantastic one that she can try definitely. She can also get him to do some exercise, maybe chase him with a little ball or let him walk with it, that he can just get moving to get that gut moving. Also give him a litter tray buffet. That's what I used to call it. I have various sources for him to defecate. Sometimes, if they are not happy with the source they have, they hold it in. So I have a litter tray with paper, I have one with crystals, I have one with sand, and see where he wants to do his business. And she can just also contact her pharmacy or her vet to get added fiber to his diet. If she's not able to give him a high fiber diet, there's quite a very nice variety of sources she can use. She must just find out from a vet and a pharmacy what they have in stock for her to help her with.
Thank you, Shanae, for that question. Now, next question is from Roxy Mace, and she wants to know what she can do to stop her 4-month-old puppy from biting everything.
That is quite a thing to stop because they actually enjoy biting and they are teething, so they actually want to bite everything and anything. So I call this process bite inhibition. She can go and have a look at it as well, where you literally, when the puppy bites, you immediately tell him no or ouch, give a command to what he's not supposed to do, and then you ignore the puppy. Give him a time out for 5 minutes. 5 minutes for them is a long time. Walk away for 5 minutes. Go and put him in the bathroom for 5 minutes, and do not give any attention. And sometimes you will need to do this every 5 minutes in an hour until that little light bulb is going to come on and he's going to be like, oh, when I bite, I do not get attention. So just be consistent with that and he will stop biting. He will learn to stop.
Excellent. Thank you, Roxy, for that question. Now, last question comes from Jessica Erasmus, and she has asked, how do you handle a dog that has grass allergies? He loves the grass, and we have a huge garden, but I don't know how to manage his allergy as the itching drives him crazy. Can a special food diet help with this?
That is, again, I also feel bad for the people if it's a grass allergy, because you cannot eliminate grass in a dog's environment. It's completely impossible. She can start with like our hypoallergenic diet. If it's a pure grass allergy, the allergy will not stop on a hypoallergenic diet, but the response will be lower. So she will still struggle with the allergy. The response will be a little bit lower. What she can do for now, until the vets are up and about and open, she can get for the interim aloe vera gel to rub on the tummy to ease the inflammation and the itchiness. But as soon as the vets are completely open for allergies or any issue, take him to the vet to run with her through what she can do. There's quite a lot of medication now on the market that has less side effects than cortisone that the little one can take when this allergy gets really bad.
Oh, Dr. Kirin, how do we ever say thank you so much for answering all our questions, but also answering all our viewers' questions. But thank you so much for everything.
It's a huge pleasure. I'm going to miss you guys.
We are going to miss you too. Have a good day further.
You too.
Now, we are officially down to our very last personalized Ultra Dog hamper. And this hamper is valued at 2,000 Rand. And if you are a selected winner, Ultra Dog will customize your hamper to include their food that suits your pup's specific needs. And they will also even throw in some fun toys too. Now, to stand a chance of winning, we want to know, what is the biggest lesson your pet has taught you? Share your stories and photos on the competition post on the Expresso Facebook page and get your entry in before 5 p.m. to qualify. T's and C's apply and can be found on expressoshow.com.
From dogs to orcas, also known as killer whales, they are the largest of the dolphin family and most of the world's most powerful predators. Now, their majestic size and graceful tumbles in the ocean leave a sense of awe in all those who are lucky enough to see them, I promise you. And this week, False Bay has been rolling in luck, as there have been 3 orca sightings since Sunday. And we're being joined via video call by Dr. Simon Elwin, a marine biologist, and the director of Sea Search, a marine biology research non-profit, to share more on this. Dr. Simon, so good to have you on the line this morning. How often do orcas come into False Bay, and for how long do they stay when they're there?
Hey, good morning. They don't come in that often, so this sighting of 3 sightings in a row this week has been really phenomenal. They definitely come in more this time of year, late summer, autumn. Mainly with the common dolphins that are coming in this time of year to the beginning of the sardine run. So maybe once a month, once every 2 or 3 months is probably typical, but they move really fast, and so they don't tend to stay in the bay more than probably a few hours.
Well, this particular sighting is receiving lots of attention. Is it usual to have so many sightings in a few days, and do you think that it's all the same group of orcas that are coming through there?
It's definitely unusual to have so many in a row. It was different groups of orcas. One was a larger group that we initially thought was 6 when we were on the boat, but actually it was almost it was more than 10 animals, but they were very spread out, so hard to count. And those animals have been seen around a few times. But then the other group that was seen twice was the 2 with the bent dorsal fins called port and starboard. These are the ones that have been linked to eating sharks around southern Africa. So those were seen twice, and it looks like those guys are a little bit more resident around our coastline.
So that's port and starboard coming through there more frequently. Is coming to False Bay part of their migration pattern? Do they do this as a pattern?
They're not migrating per se, but they do have quite large ranges. We know port and starboard are very identifiable, obviously, with those bent fins. Yes. And they've been seen as north as Lüderitz and possibly Walvis Bay up in Namibia, which is 1,500 kilometers north. And they've been seen in Port Elizabeth as well. So these animals are just wandering along the coast. They do seem to have a little bit of seasonality in their movement, but we haven't figured that out quite yet.
I mean, just looking at the visuals, it really is such an awe-inspiring thing to see. They are beautiful to look at. But what would the orcas be doing in the region? Well, what about the region is so attractive?
We have an incredible diversity and abundance of marine life around the Cape particularly, and they're eating. The big group we saw on Sunday were definitely eating, but it looks like they were probably eating fish. They were eating something on the bottom. They were doing a lot of long dives. And port and starboard, probably eating fish. They've recently been seen eating sunfish a couple of times, or certainly harassing them. But mainly they're targeting sharks, which is quite interesting. So we keep seeing them in the areas like at Seal Island and off Miller's Point, where there are known to be aggregations of sharks.
I love them. I love them. Look at how beautiful they are. Dr. Simon Elwin, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and keep doing the good work out there. I'm going to be following these awesome adventures and discoveries that are being made on our shores and in our waters. And a very big thank you once again to you, Dr. Simon Elwin. Now, of course, for you at home, you can find Sea Search on Facebook with the handle @SeaSearch, and Dr. Simon's partner in marine enthusiasm, Simonstown Boat Company, with the handle @BoatCompany.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show on a Friday. Yay! Thank you so much. Hey, level 4 Friday at that. Let's talk about Tropica, something so tasty and delicious. Tropica Long Life, of course, can make your life so much easier and tastier. It's a UHT product that can be stored unopened in your cupboards for days, even weeks. It lasts really long. It's definitely something that you would want to add to your essential shopping list. Trust me, I already have, especially for this weekend, because it's going to last long into the lockdown period. Yes. There's a whole spread of them here.
There's literally a whole spread of them here. Yesterday, Jamie and Ryle showed us their favorite long life flavors that they would post to enter the hashtag Tropica competition this weekend to win guest vouchers. And they've inspired me and Uncle Tabsy over here so much that we've decided to join in on the fun and dress up as our favorite long life flavors. Isn't that right, Tabsy?
That's right. Okay, so I did a video, yesterday, because, you know, even though you can't go anywhere, you still can dress up. I mean, look at me there getting dressed up. I'm rocking this purple jacket. It's part of a full suit, but I thought keep it nice and a bit simple but elegant. Bring in the eleganza. This is inspired actually by the team Mango Peach on Tropica Island of Treasure, because I'm always watching Vazi there rocking those purple shots, and I thought, okay, cool, well, I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna wear this and bring it through. So look at that. This is my flavor to go with my Mango Peach flavored drink.
I love that so
You've done
much.
the same. You're taking us all Tropica.
I have definitely taken you guys to the actual island itself.
Yes,
the island of Curacao. That's exactly what we did. Well, my flavor is obviously tropical. I mean, what more should I say? What more do I have?
If tropical was a person.
It is I. It is I. So I was having fun with it at home and listening to the tropical theme song sung by Ugukatlego. And I was dancing along to, you know...
Listen, okay, so you're probably wondering now how to get your entry in for this competition. It's such a fun competition because, you know what, it encourages you now, number one, inspires you to go and dress up a little bit, even if you've got nowhere to go, even if it's just going to the shops for your essentials. Yes. And so what we're going to be showing you now is how to take those photos and get your entry in for this particular competition.
Okay.
So you will get into your outfit, right?
This is my outfit.
Which is your tropical.
Let's be creative a little bit, okay? outfit, and perhaps if you love doing makeup, you can match your makeup to your favorite flavor, or if you're an artist, you can draw something
on your body.
On your body as well. Use whatever you want.
Okay, cool. And then you take a photo with your Tropica flavor, which obviously best sort of emulates or represents whatever makeup or outfit or accessory you've got on. Okay, cool. Well, that's quite the pose, isn't it? Let's do that.
I'm actually drinking it for real.
Like you're on the island here. There we go. Get the picture done. And then you send the picture or the video of yourself with your favorite Tropica long life product or flavor. Dress up for it, dress up for the flavor, and add a small pop or prop even to your look, and post it on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag Tropica. Reply to the competition post on Facebook and you could be the lucky winner of a Guess Watch. They are fabuloso. And this competition closes midnight on the 4th of May 2020. Okay, I need to get my entry
Yes,
in.
please. Make sure that the bottle is in frame.
Nothing smoother.
Yes, love it. Very simple. Now, so get out there, be creative, and make sure to catch the repeat of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. right here on SABC3, where the stage
is yours. Own it.
Catch the repeat of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao Saturday at 8 p.m. Contestants need to place their trust in their opponents.
Do I want to perform my best to help another team?
They're making us unfaithful.
Get down, catch up!
I really want this long life charm.
As teams shuffle for points, it could all come tumbling down. No, guys.
This is not the right move.
Catch the repeat of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao Saturday at 8 p.m. only on SABC3. The stage is yours.
The spice, the drama tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. only on SABC3, Island Treasure, Tropica Island of Treasure, Curacao. But right now, we're back in the kitchen to cook something sweet, something nice, and something with rice.
White and fluffy rice with a great taste. Excella, pure excellence.
Now, after cooking a scrumptious savoury earlier on, we're back in the kitchen to cook up a little something sweet. Now, you might only know one way to cook rice to form part of a savoury dish, but today we are going to inspire you with this pantry staple in a sweet rendition, also known as kheer. The cooler days call for hearty classic desserts like this, with such a few ingredients such as milk, spices, and Excella long-grain parboiled rice. But before we get into it, remember to wash our hands. Make sure that you clean and make sure that everything is sanitized. So washy. Happy. I'm going to sanitize it over here. And then we are ready to make this. Kheer is what exactly, Anel?
Kheer is, I just quickly want to grab some paper towel here. Sorry, Jamie. Kheer is a Indian dish, and it's a rice pudding. Do you know rice pudding? It's an Indian spice rice pudding.
Love. Growing up, actually, my grandfather used to make rice pudding, but he used to bake it, so nothing like this.
Yes.
You're obviously elevating it today, but are you familiar with rice pudding?
Oh, my father, it was his favourite dish, but it was also that baked one. And then he did a layer of apricot jam on. My mom made a meringue, and then she baked it. Ooh. So it was like this big, thing, warm dish that comes to the table, and we loved it. But this is a different dish. Like, it's more... It's like boobert. Do you think...
Boobert. I love boobert. So usually the 15th night, yes, boobert, I am in love with it. And you're going to show us how to make this today. Kheer, so we're going in with some...
Milk in a pot. So I've already put the pot on, so we're going to add the milk to the pot. And this is full cream milk, but if you want to use something lighter like fat-free milk or medium fat milk, you can do that.
I would even go and say coconut milk, because then it will have that desserty taste to it.
And then this dish will also be a lactose-free dish if you use milk for those guys. Yeah.
Got it.
So we're going to add the milk. Then we're going to add this beautiful rice. We're using the long-grain rice of Excella. I'm just about a half a cup. I'll measure sommer so met die oog.
So you'll be parboiling your rice in the milk to get the texture? Okay, got it.
There. Yeah, and it soaks up all the flavors. But you know what I forgot? You need to take out a little bit of this milk to mix with the custard.
A little bit later on.
Yeah, a little bit later on. So I forgot to do that. So you just cook this rice, and it's going to thicken up inside there because the rice is full of starches. So that thickens the milk up.
Give it nice and fluffy.
Yes. And then you add spices, the Indian spices, and that is what kheer is about. With boober, I think they add cinnamon. Am I
Yes,
correct?
yes, that's right.
So this you get some turmeric.
Okay.
Turmeric gives like a sweet flavor to the dish, and it gives it that golden hue. It's so beautiful. And then we're going to add some green cardamoms.
Oh no, that stuff is from the devil. I swear, when I bite on that, it's like, oh, it will ruin a dish.
No. Okay, but then what you do is you take the little seeds out. There's got beautiful black seeds in the green cardamom, and it's got like a lemony, zesty flavor. If the camera can, oops, I gaan nie reis. But that's good luck, eh? A lemony, zesty flavor.
So that is what's in it. Okay, got it. So then you don't have to bite on that, because I promise that can spoil the entire dish.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for teaching me how to unshell cardamom.
Yeah, and then we're going to thickening up it with some custard powder. We're just going to thicken up the milk. Let me just get a little bit more milk in here. So that is just to thicken it up if it's not thick enough, but the rice do make it quite thick. Remember, you must add your custard when the rice is boiling. It's not boiling at the moment, otherwise it's going to taste really powdery.
Got it.
And we always need something sweet, sugar. Because it is a dessert. And if you don't have sugar, sweetener, anytime.
Honey, whatever you have.
It's going to have that beautiful, beautiful Indian spices, warmth. Oh, I just love it.
Would you prefer eating it warm then, or could this be served as a cold dessert?
You can serve it as a cold dessert, but I would love it warm, especially this time of the year. And you can also add golden raisins. They taste like sun-dried grapes. It's going to have a flavor. So we're going to also add that. And then you just boil it till it's beautifully thickened. And look, there's the dish. And you top it off with some almonds, and you just dry fry your almonds to get that nutty flavor and that brownness. And a bit
What is that, cardamom again?
No.
I was just going to be like, there's no way we're putting cardamom on top, because that is definitely not part of the recipe.
You've got a cardamom phobia.
I do.
I do. But remember now to take the pips out, because the seeds is much better. So, and then you just dress your beautiful pudding with roasted almonds. And there you have it. Here, beautiful, but different.
Rice pudding, whatever you want to call it, that is a delicious way to enjoy rice as a sweet treat. I love that, Anal. And if this recipe has inspired you, then you do not want to miss out on next week's exciting recipe, as we will be giving you a masterclass on how to make a marvelous mushroom and garlic risotto, again using the Exler pure excellent rice. I am loving this.
I can't wait for that risotto. It's one of my favorite winter dishes.
Rice twice as nice.
White and fluffy rice with a great taste. Exceller, pure excellence. gorgeous people. You are with your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso on SABC3. Thank you so much for choosing to start the day off with us on this beautiful day. Now, lockdown might have us all cooped up in our homes and often bored out of our minds, but that didn't stop these young artists from putting together the ultimate South African medley. And now, Adcock Ingram's OTC, sponsors of Brave campaign, in association with Stageworks Performing Arts School, they released a video to pay tribute to those heroes working tirelessly on the front line and uplift the nation through these difficult times. Let's take a look at this.
Everybody, come and drink my magic beer. Everybody, come and drink my African beer.
Get on fuzzy or independent, let's go 50-50. Won't get on Montu or independent, let's go 50-50.
The people singing dance. There's always just a chance. For you to find romance. Dance, dance, dance.
Ah, what an uplifting little clip. You've got to love it. Now, this upbeat medley has used some of the greatest African songs from local music legends that we all love and know. And one of them being the legendary and the beautiful Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Mama Yvonne, good morning. Thank you so much for making time.
Hello, and thank you very much for having me on this lockdown. Because you are an essential worker, I want to say thanks to you for entertaining us.
Salute, salute. We keep it moving and keep it going. Thank you so much for that. But you are doing so well during this time and inspiring the nation in such a beautiful way as well through your music that is absolutely so timeless. How are you managing the lockdown?
Well, you know, sitting at home and just doing all sorts of things. It's just been madness. But I think above all, it's time for introspection, really. I think this lockdown has really taught us that it's time to share, it's time for Ubuntu, and above all, having these young creative children singing music from all different genres and from all older artists, that inspired me.
What did you think when you first saw the clip?
You know, when Alan Ford sent me that clip, I was actually lying down and I actually sat up and listened. The beautiful medley that those young people have put together, it's actually very, very inspiring. And I want to say to South African kids, you can be anything that you want to be. And it really shows that music is love and music is king. So to them, congratulations, and they should just keep it up.
And there is always positivity to find and to live off during this time. But Mom Yvonne, why is it so important to share these positive messages of gratitude and support, especially during this time?
Well, you know, I want to say to all those essential workers, to the nurses, the doctors, healthcare workers, policemen, everybody, thank you for being brave and thank you for doing whatever you are doing. And thank you to our government as well.
Here on Expresso, we definitely do celebrate those who are brave enough to go out there and do that. But look, let's talk about your music. We know that your music is inspiring and it makes us feel good all over the world. But of course, you also do some really good work out there. You've got your own initiative that you've been working on that's done so much work and touched so many lives. Tell us more about that and how people can get involved with it.
So Farzana and myself, with the Princess of Africa Foundation, were trying to get donations. And thank you to a company called Lion Pride. They've already given us money. A guy called Alex Evans has already put in some money, CIPO as well. So we're collecting some money to buy pads so that we can deliver them to the disadvantaged areas, because we've seen people are getting food parcels, but these food parcels do not have these pads. Our people need us more now.
We love it. People coming together to really bring about positive effects in the lives of others. Lastly, so a couple of years ago, you woke up very early every morning to make your beer umkomboti, which you can't do now. But you said to me earlier on that now you're baking and you're making cookies. So maybe there's a new song coming out. I wake up every day to make a queena, nama keke. And I'll be the producer of the album. No?
Maybe a new song is coming, but you know, we've just released a song with Andrea Schwartz last Friday. It's a song of hope. It's called I Dare to Dream. We're telling those young girls not to despair, to say, Nomdakasana, you are a jewel of Africa.
Ma'am Yvonne, you truly are the princess of Africa. Thank you so, so much for that. We appreciate all that you do, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. But of course, for you at home, remember that you can also join in on this incredible campaign by nominating the pharmacist, the healthcare professional, or the healthcare worker in your community, making a real difference, especially during this time, during COVID-19, and you stand a chance of winning 5,000 rand. Now, 2 healthcare winners will be selected from your nominations, one chosen by a judging panel and one through your votes. And these 2 healthcare professionals that are selected will win a trip to an overseas medical conference, which is fantastic. It'll be a conference of their choice, and they'll be given the opportunity to pay it forward by donating 25,000 rand to their favorite charity. Now, go on expressoshow.com for more information on how you can nominate the healthcare professionals doing incredible things in your community today. The curve we don't want to flatten is the heartbeat of our beloved South Africa. Be brave.
Unprecedented challenges call for incredible bravery. Countless doctors, nurses, and pharmacists are working around the clock to keep us safe. They go beyond the call of duty and selflessly put the needs of our communities first. Nominate the brave healthcare professionals on the front line and give them the recognition they deserve. Because the only curve we don't want to flatten is the heartbeat of our beloved South Africa.
Thank you so much for joining us this Workers' Day. Make sure to tune in on our Facebook Live as Nicole teaches us how to make lasagna. See you again on Monday, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.